What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today, as I'm sure you all probably know by now, Dooku has finally arrived in Battlefront 2 after a very long wait, and so I'm just going to be making this super short little video to give you guys my first thoughts and impressions on the count. Now, obviously this is my first impressions, and so I'm sure a few days from now I probably will feel a little bit different, but I just thought I'd get this video out there as soon as possible, as I know a lot of you guys haven't had a chance to play as him yet and probably do want to know how he looks and feels so far. So as of right now, I'm sitting at about level 14 with him, and I've played a fair bit of HVV to try and level him up. However, I've only played 2 games with him in GA, so my understanding of him there is a little bit less than it is for HVV. In saying that, about half an hour ago on stream, I did have a pretty nice little streak somewhere in the mid-20s with him. Obviously that's nothing too crazy really, but for me to get that in the second game of GA, I was definitely pretty happy with it, and so I did get a pretty decent feel for him across both game modes. Now, first off, just touching on his appearance and voice lines and all that good stuff, and honestly DICE has absolutely nailed it yet again, just like they have with Grievous and Obi-Wan as well, as he looks really good, sounds really good, and does have some very nice emotes along with some really good attack animations as well. Now, obviously his face doesn't look 100% perfect, but that is to be expected when you recreate a real life face in a video game, and overall it does still look very accurate. So in terms of his look and sound and all that stuff, DICE have done a very good job with him so far. Now, moving on to how he plays, and again I think DICE have done a really good job with how smooth he plays and how his animations look when he attacks. They all look so accurate to what we see in the movies and in the Clone Wars, and like I said, he does play very smoothly as well, which was something I was definitely a little bit worried about when his animations first got data mined a few months ago. Now, I don't know if it's just me, but with Obi-Wan, some of his movements and animations seem to be slightly rough and clunky. It's not really that big of an issue, but I was worried that Dooku would be the same. However, he's actually probably up there with some of the smoothest moving characters in the game, so props again to DICE for all of their work. His abilities are also really useful and balanced, and as far as I can tell, pretty much bug-free as well, so definitely a nice change up to have his abilities working as soon as he releases, rather than a month or two down the track like we have had with the other 2 DLC characters. All of his abilities do suit his playstyle very well. They're really useful for both GA and HVV, however they're definitely not overpowered either, so in terms of his balancing, I think he is pretty good so far. Now, in HVV, he's definitely been pretty good so far. He does seem to be really balanced surprisingly, and he does do really well against the other saber users, which does make sense seeing as he was one of the better duelists in the galaxy. However, it does also seem to lack a bit when it comes to facing blaster heroes. I've found from my time playing so far that Han is Dooku's kryptonite. He seems to be pretty much destroyed by him both when I was playing against Han and then when I was playing Han against Dooku. However, I guess that may change once we figure out how to play him better, as he definitely may get better with a bit more practice and some purple star cards as well. Overall, he seems pretty balanced in HVV as far as I can tell. He does struggle a little bit against the enemy blaster users, but I guess that's probably a fair trade since he can be so dominant against enemy saber users, so we'll just have to see over the coming weeks how he does turn out. Moving on to GA now, and again he does actually feel really strong in Galactic Assault, which is a little surprising, as honestly I did expect him to be similar to Obi-Wan in the way that he'd be a little harder to use, but like I mentioned, I did just have a pretty decent game on stream in only my second game, so I do think he's definitely on the stronger side when it comes to the villains. My only real worry is that he may actually be almost too good, leaning slightly towards being overpowered, so that's something we'll definitely need to keep an eye on, but at the same time I may have just gotten lucky in my first 2 games, and there's every chance he may actually be complete trash, as it's definitely too hard to tell for sure. But as far as I can tell, he's definitely going to be up there with Grievous as one of the better saber users in the game, especially in GA, and now all we need is for Anakin to be really good in hopes that we can slightly balance out the teams in favour of the light side, as they definitely are slightly lacking when it comes to heroes. So that is pretty much it for my first impressions, guys. Like I said, I did want to get this out there ASAP, as I am going to get straight to work on a Dooku edition of Mythbusters, and then once that's done I will also get stuck straight into the hero guide as well, so hopefully both of those videos can be out within the next week or 2. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think of Dooku so far. I'm definitely happy with him so far, but like I said, things may change with more playtime, so we'll have to see how it goes over time. As I mentioned, I will be getting a Mythbusters video as well as his hero guide out as soon as possible, so definitely make sure to keep an eye out for those as well. Thank you all so much for watching. You guys have a great day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.